a lot of hate against foreigner drivers.
Why is
Because you want me to use questions? They're just a dumb truck driver.
Hey, but you gotta remember, I'm in the industry. You're not.
Welcome to the Truck Stop Show. Today we're joined by Ty, who is actually the youngest guest we have ever had on the Truck Stop Show. And I'm going to tell you guys that he's only 20. My name is Ali, and let's talk to Ty about his journey in trucking. Ty, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. So tell us about yourself and how do you land in trucking?
Well, I don't know. It's growing up, dad, both grandparents, like they drove truck, and I got told not to do it. I still did it, and yeah, like growing up, going in the truck with them, it just like it's cool. I want to do this. So
Just to be sure I heard it right, your mom and dad both?
no, like my parents are divorced,
Right.
so both their grandparents, like both their dads, did
Mhm.
it. Like all the guys in our family have driven trucks, so
It's a family thing.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm just the coolest one.
You just started though, right?
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. So tell me how long you've done it.
I've been driving 9 months now.
Right.
Same place from right from the start.
And what kind of work is it?
Hauling livestock.
Livestock.
Yep.
Nice. And so we had a show about livestock before, but we'll probably do more stuff about livestock. Tell us about livestock. How's the work? What kind of work environment do you get? And do you enjoy it?
Summertime, it's hot and you want it to be cold. Wintertime, it's cold. You want it to be warm out. It's a shitty job, but it's no, it's worth it. I like it.
So it's
Uh,
shitty, but it's worth it. You like it. Explain
pays
this to
good.
me. Pays well?
Pays good, and you get looks when you're going down the road. Not the same as everybody else, so that's pretty cool. But yeah,
Positive looks or negative looks?
depends. Depends if you cut someone off or not, or it's something kind of dumb. But usually they're, I'd say 50-50. Some people like you, some people don't.
So Ty, how do you know if it's positive or negative? Because I know like sometimes people are flashing at you just to appreciate you, but at the same time, sometimes people are flashing at you for negative reasons.
I just, you can tell. They're giving you one of these when they go by. It's pretty easy to tell, okay, yeah, you're upset about something, so I'll just bother you a little bit and you can go on. It's pretty easy to tell when people are being negative and
And
not
as a truck
happy.
driver, do you always? So let's say you're driving down the highway, and somebody's upset about something, and he's, let's say, brake checking you or something. Do you always actually know what have you done to this person?
No. Sometimes it's just because you're there. You're there and they're having a bad day, and oh well, let's brake check this guy, and no, it doesn't usually end too well. But
Brake checks are extremely dangerous. I mean, I've seen people brake check trucks, and my opinion is this person is only doing it because this person does not understand that trucks do not stop instantly, right?
no, and like you're loaded with, for example, 100, 190, 200 like pigs going to Conestoga or wherever, and someone pulls in front of you and just slams on the brakes. It's like, yeah, I'm not stopping. Like you're gonna get hit.
Or in
But-
fact, you can't stop, right?
No, you can't do anything, and
Right.
try to be as easy as you can. You don't want to there's animals back there. You don't want to slam on your brakes or turn hard to the left or to the right. So just trying to do the best you can to not hit them, but also remember what you got back there. So
Ty, because you're only 20 years old and you're, as I said, you're the youngest guy I had on the show. I really want to talk about, and you did mention this, that your family told you not to get into this. So, one, young people don't want to get into this trade. Secondly, why is there a negative image about trucking?
I think it's been ruined. Like talk to Grandpa, and he tells me how it was when he was driving in the '80s. None of that now. It's been ruined. There's just no respect for anybody anymore, and that's why like livestock guys and certain guys that do certain work try to keep that going. But it's
So, when you say trucking has been ruined, is it because nobody respects you on the road, or is it the culture has changed, or what do you
it's the
think?
culture's changed. It's a different culture, and like the biggest majority of trucking now, like freight, flatbed, stuff like that. It's all the same, and people come in and cut each other's rates, and nobody looks out for anybody else anymore. So it's definitely different than from what I've heard.
So ever since you got the license, you have more conversation with your grandfather?
Yeah. Oh yeah. He loves talking about it all the time. And like he called me last night. He FaceTime. He was just talking about it and telling me stories. He usually sometimes they're the same ones, and it's like I've heard this before, but you don't want to say it and be rude, so you let him talk.
That's this kind of you. So it's actually a common problem when people get to a certain age. Sometimes they repeat what they say, right? So because they don't have sometimes much happening in their life, right?
Well, no,
So Ty, so far you said work is not the prettiest, but you enjoy it.
yeah.
So because you're in livestock, so I do know that you have to clean the trailer, deal with the animal and all that, right? But at the same time you enjoy it. So what do you enjoy the most about trucking so far?
About trucking or hauling livestock?
Okay, let's put them in two pieces then. Well, first, livestock.
I don't know. It's nice to work with animals. Like you have to like animals to do it. You can't be a animal hater and haul livestock. You gotta like them to do it, and I don't know. It's rewarding.
You're taking them to the kill plant for
Well,
the most
not
part.
always. It's rewarding. Like we haul piglets and that too. Like just tiny little pigs. It's I don't know. It's you just have to like it. It's hard for me to explain. I don't know how to explain it. I just like the animals and that worked, so I did that. And like, what do I like about trucking? I mean, I don't know. Like, it's everything. Just driving, driving down the road, you get your music on. Usually, you hope there's nobody around you, and you just chill out and drive.
You run to the U.S.?
No, I do not. I go to Quebec, and I've been out west, but that's all I do. Mostly Quebec stuff. It's all right.
Right. So what kind of jobs you had in the past? So
I
let's start with after you finished high school.
I was already working for a guy in a truck shop and did that, and then left that place. Went and worked for another guy. Worked there for 2 years or so, and then I was kind of like debating whether or not I should go get my license. And I was like, it's a good amount of money, but I just decided, you know what, I want to do it. I'm gonna spend the money, and I went and got my license. I was still working for him while I did it. Like he let me work part time, and I was getting my license. And then after I got it, started looking for a job. Still worked for him the whole time. Got a job where I am, and all right, 2 weeks, and right into it. I got my license when I was 19.
Nice. So did you have any connections with this company you're working for?
Nope.
So you just walk in, be like, I want a job? So a lot of new drivers complain about, and it's all over the social media, you probably see it too. Well, I got my license maybe many years ago and I still can't find a job. But this was not the case for you. Well, talk to the people who complain about not getting a job in trucking, but they have the license.
Don't just give up after you try to apply at 2 places. You can't apply at 2 places and be like, oh, nobody's gonna hire me. You got to keep going. Like I think I didn't get hired easy. I think I called them like 3 or 4 times. Like once a week, I would call them, and they finally were like, yeah, okay, come in for an interview, and I did, and got offered the job. And they're like, oh, do you want to take some time to think about it? I was like, no, I'll take it. Thank you. It's perfect. And yeah, been there since. I don't know. I just feel like people try once or twice to find a job, doesn't go too well, and they just all right, give up, and they'd rather complain than keep trying to find a job.
So you're saying there is jobs in trucking right now?
Oh yeah, there is. Might not be, doing exactly what you want, but like I got pretty lucky. I will admit, like I got really lucky getting into where I did around the time, being a new driver, everything. But I think people are just lazy.
So Ty, so you're growing up listening to these trucking stories, right, through your grandparents, right? Now, when you're doing it yourself, do you think the stories they told you are what your image of trucking was?
Had a big part of it. And when I started doing it, it was like an eye opener. It's like, yeah, it's not like that anymore. It was, yeah, because like when he was driving, he was like, yeah, you could, anywhere you go, you pull into a truck stop, restaurant's full, everything. If you go to a truck stop, you're lucky if there's even a restaurant in there. It's just fast food. Like, he goes, everybody knew you. Like, And there was not this many accidents, and all the stuff that's been going on was not happening. And then I don't know, I knew it wasn't going to be like that, but I was hoping there was still a bit of it. And
Uh-huh.
no,
But you seem to be disappointed.
a little bit. But
Yeah.
I'll just make my own stories now and work with what I got, I guess.
Yeah. So you were working in shops before. So do you have your mechanic license or not?
And then, no,
You were working as an apprentice, I assume? Right. So working on trucks and working in truck, what's the difference?
like working on them and driving them.
Yeah.
Well, instead of fixing the stuff people break, I just get to break stuff now. That's the only difference. No, there's a big difference. I don't know. It's the hours are longer. It's especially with what we do. Like sometimes you're getting up at 2 a.m. You go load, and then you won't get home till 5, 6 o'clock, or it won't even get done till 5, 6 o'clock. Then you got to drive home or wherever you're going. With that, it was like a lot more like stable of being at home. Like yeah, I would work 6 to 5. Now I don't.
Do you miss that?
Sometimes when you're waking up at 1:30 in the morning and you go, "Why am I doing this?" But no, not really. Not enough to go back to it and give up driving.
So Ty, I really want to talk about the schooling around trucking. So not to name any schools or any companies or anything, but you just went through this recently. So I like to know how. So I know there's the course out there that you have to do before you can do the drive test, and social media is full of complaints and criticism on schools and this and that, and even the government to an extent, right? So tell us, because you just went through this, how does the course look like?
See if I remember. I know my first day of school, I was in the truck and trailer on the road.
Aren't you supposed to be in class though?
That's what I thought, but I wasn't also gonna say anything because I don't know. That's how I learn, by just doing it. It's a better way for me to learn than sitting there writing on paper and that. It was nice, and yeah, we did one little bit of classroom, and that was for your air brake. And other than that, you're outside in the truck, learning the truck, driving the truck, backing up, doing stuff like that. There wasn't much like paper stuff.
There is no like in-class training where they teach you about different aspects and
Not really. Like they gave you like a book that had, you read through it and explain stuff to you and that, but I don't think anybody ever read through it. I just go and you talk to them, they teach you everything, and like I definitely feel like I got an advantage because I already knew a lot of stuff.
hmm
So I didn't have to, learn everything. Like the pre-trip stuff, I already knew all that from working on trucks. Like asking to describe stuff. I knew that already. Like could do that no problem. It was just
You
learning.
still have to complete those hours and stuff, right? Don't you?
Yeah. And by the end, I was almost there every day because I just wanted to get it done. And I think they just wanted to get me done because they're like, okay, like you don't need to be taught anymore. We can't teach you anything anymore. And they booked my road test. I was nervous, obviously. Went in there and not a problem. Passed first try. And yeah, I was like, all right, here's your yellow page. Go down to the office and have fun, I guess. And I got out and left. That was it.
And you got it on the manual transmission?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I was driving a 10-speed Volvo day cab.
Right.
So it's not a fun truck.
Right. So Ty, tell us about the future. So do you plan to stay in this trade for a long time?
Yeah.
You think this is your career now?
Yeah. I mean, anywhere you go, you're gonna have problems with people.
Right.
There's a little bit of that, but it's not anything that's bad. Like I've heard a lot worse things at other companies, so I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll just stick with these people. And like they treat you good. Like if you're straight up and honest with them, they'll do the best they can. If you need time off in a hurry, just like, hey, I get time off. Like maybe I could work this day instead of being like they're super good with everything. So I don't think I'll be going anywhere else either.
Let me tell you something. Trucking company matters the most in your trucking career. So the choice of company or the company you work for is actually a massive thing. It's probably the biggest decision where you're gonna work. Because you can be working for a biggest company and where you're just a number, but you can be working for a small company where everybody knows everybody, and you can always access the owner and then talk to them about your problems and stuff like that. Right?
Yeah, that's definitely nice. I don't even know how. Like I think we got over 15 trucks.
1.5.
Yeah, we got a good amount of trailers, and yeah, like everybody there, everybody in the shop, the wash bay, the office. Like we have two dispatchers, know them. Like it's everybody knows everybody. It's not like you're just a number. You're actually important to these people, and they need you there. So it's nice, and like I said, you sometimes get some extra benefits and stuff out of working for a small company that you wouldn't get working for a big carrier because they're like, oh, you're just a number. We got to do everything properly, like this and that. So it's yeah, no, I don't think I'd work for a big company ever.
Yeah. So I know you're doing livestock right now, but my question is, do you have any desire to haul anything else? For example, let's say you say, "Oh, I really wish I could haul that."
I think the only thing I'd probably want to do is oversized. That's about all. The only other thing, and like right now, I don't really have much interest in that. So I'll just stick with the livestock. I like it. Money's pretty good. It's in the summertime it slows down, but it's pretty consistent. Like there's not much ups and downs with pays and stuff like that. It's pretty flat across the board. So it's like nothing's job security. Like I have got a lot of that there. I'm not worried about losing my job or anything like that. So
I actually
no.
did not know that the livestock slows down in the summertime. Do you know why?
There's like I really don't know why. I think it's just the time of year nobody's buying, selling. Not many people are breeding, stuff like that. Like I know in the summer we still do all the same work for the same people, but like in the winter, I'll use for example, I could ship 200 pigs
Mm-hmm.
to Conestoga. In the summer, it's too hot to do that. You can only put
Mm-hmm.
150, 160 on. So everything kind of slows down in the summer too. But as soon as you hit colder weather, it's all right. Let's go. That's what it's been.
Ty, how did you manage the opposition from your family where you said they told you not to get into trucking, but you're like, no, I want to get into trucking?
I just didn't listen. I just did it anyway. They told me not to do. Well, my mom, big supporter of it. Dad wasn't a fan of it, and grandparents didn't say much about it because they're like, that's not my place. But dad definitely did not like it. He was not too happy about it. But now that I'm doing it and everything, and he knows it's going good, he's switched. He's pretty supportive about it now. But yeah, I don't know. He was like, don't do it. It's hard on your body, hard hours. And I was like, well, yeah, but I'm gonna still go do it. So you can tell me whatever you want, but it's not gonna change anything.
When you leave for a load, are they calling you and finding out where you are?
Who?
Your parents?
Not really. My mom sometimes will text me and that, but like I share my location with them and everything, so they know where I'm at all times. I got nowhere to hide, nothing like that, so they can see where I'm at all the time. And like sometimes my mom will text me just, hey, how's it going and stuff like that, or I'll give her a call or whatever. But no, they're not really too on me about it. My dad will call me during the day sometimes, talk to him. What are you doing? What do you think I'm doing? The same thing I'm always doing, driving. So yeah.
So now question, if you live west side of Toronto and you're going to Quebec, which you said you go a lot on Quebec side, right? You have to fight through Toronto. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, all right.
Tell me about it.
It's the dumbest. I can't even like the stuff I watch when I'm driving through Toronto. I'm like, why do you guys like? What goes on in your head? You'll see accidents. Like, how did you do that? And I don't know. Now at this point, I've done it so many times. I just kind of hang out. I'm not in a hurry to get through there. You try to rush through there, you're just gonna get yourself screwed. I just sit in the middle of the right lane and just slowly work my way through. And once you're out, put the pedal to the floor and just try to make up a little bit of time you lost.
Drive a manual truck?
Yeah, 13 speed.
That must be very hard.
Especially when you're loaded like we're usually about 100,000 when we go out there, 90, 100,000 for the one load we do, and it's
Let me explain hard. Hard means going through Toronto in a manual truck must be very hard.
it is, but like a lot of time what I'll do is like traffic stop, they start rolling again, I'll go to like second or third and then just let the truck roll. And then they'll stop. And by the time I get up to them, they're already going forward again. It's very like you're trying to keep distances so you don't have to keep pushing the clutch down. In the back
But you get
first,
that
I don't know.
privilege though, because somebody's gonna jump in front of you.
It happens, but not as like I don't know. People don't usually do it too much there. I don't know why. Like my last trip going out there and back, I don't think I had anybody try to cut in front of me. I was kind of shocked. Last time I went out there, I think from Cambridge to like Port Hope, Clarington, kind of. Like I'm 2 and a bit hours. Usually you're like 3 or 4.
And what time was that?
I think I was getting through there at like noon.
Noon?
Yeah, I hurried up in the morning on my way to Quebec so I could get through there at a good time because I wanted to get out there and get unloaded and see what I was doing next, and if I was coming home empty or if I was going to pick up another load or whatever it was. So yeah, I got left. Do you know Dutton? Left there it's up by Sarnia and that kind
Yeah,
of.
yeah.
Left there at the 7:30. Got to the farm on the other side of like on the east Montreal at about 4:50. It's probably one of the better times I've made it there. There's been times where I haven't gone there till like 9 o'clock at night, 10 o'clock at night, because you just something goes wrong during the day, and then you're fighting, and you can't catch back up to anything. You hit Montreal traffic at the right time, you forget about that.
Yeah,
You're
Montreal
sitting.
is
It's
another
almost
bird.
worse than Toronto.
Well,
Like,
because it's tight. Well, you realize Montreal is a whole bunch of islands, right? So
well, we like there's a toll road you can take around.
Yeah.
So you're on the 20, then you hop onto
Yeah,
the
the
30,
30, yeah.
and it takes you kind of around, and then you meet back up with the 20, and there trying to meet back up with it. It's like always,
Yeah.
and they got such short on and off ramps. Like
yeah.
everybody's just cutting in, and
Plus, I also feel in Quebec, because the posted speed limit is 60 to 100. And you will find somebody who's driving 65 on a freeway. And in my opinion, I know speeding is dangerous, but impeding is probably more dangerous, especially when you're in front of a truck. And they're these poor guys. They're governed at 105, and they're probably doing, let's say, 100 or maybe 105 the most. Then you see this guy doing 65. Now, one, they have to brake. If you're driving a manual truck, you probably have to drop a gear, and then, you have to be sure that you don't hit them, and then, hope somebody's going to let you in the left lane so you can go past them. And then, it just breaks the whole motion, right?
usually when I'm out there, I just stay in the left lane all the time because I can go over 105. So I just stay out there. If there's a few cars behind me, I'll move over. If they want to go by, they go by. If not, the next truck, I'm moving back over. I don't like. These guys spend so much time passing each other and screwing around. I'm like, you guys can have fun with that. I'm getting out of here.
Mm-hmm.
But
So, Ty, what's the most craziest thing you've seen in Toronto? So you gotta have to pick one. It must be a tough one for you.
you can go down there any day and you're gonna see something crazy. Um, some of the accidents people get into. It's like we're in standstill traffic and you got your vehicle flipped on its roof. How'd you do that? But I don't. Crazy thing. I don't really know.
You can't pick one.
I haven't like.
Something you recall even today. I was like, I don't know what that was.
You see some pretty questionable people when you're driving, looking people. But I don't really have anything that stands out. That's like, what the hell? I'm sure if there's something that does, I'll think about it and I'll tell you. But like, as of now, I can't think of anything like that really. Now there's one in Quebec City that was like a kind of a road rage, and this guy's just freaking out on me, just sitting there laughing. I'm like, because I was in the left lane and we're in traffic, and he's sitting there behind me flashing me. I'm like, dude, if I move over, you're not gonna go anywhere anyway. Everybody's getting off and on. I'm just staying over here because I'm just going right past. Stay out of the way. And he's back there flashing me, so I can stop. And we were sitting there, walking up, passing me out, calling me all this stuff. And I'm like, why are you so upset? And he's just freaking out. And it was like snowing, and the guy's wearing shorts, like a wife beater and sandals. I was like, dude, it's like borderline snowing out here. What are you doing? He was losing his mind. I don't know. He must have been having a bad day and I didn't help, or maybe I destroyed his day. I don't know. But stuff like that now, I used to get pretty mad about it. I just laugh now sometimes, unless I'm in a bad mood.
See, now you're becoming a professional driver.
It's just easier to laugh about. It's like, what are you doing? Like last time I was out there, some guys yelling at me on the radio, coming around a corner, slowed down because I have to slow down around him. It's so top heavy, and he kind of gets beside me, and I'm in the right lane. And I start pulling on him again, and like, yeah, I was kind of being I could have let off and let him over, then passed him. But I was like, yeah, no, I was on the phone. I don't really think I was paying much attention.
Yeah.
I get up beside him and he's just throwing his arms, freaking out, yelling at me on the radio. And I was like, why are you so upset? Don't be upset. Just let me pass you. He's like, you're in the right lane. You're supposed to slow down and let me over. I was like, no, I'm faster than you. Let me go. And then I finally got around him. And he was just trying to follow me as best as he could the whole time, but he couldn't stay caught up. So,
Yeah.
see you later.
Truck drivers are the most patient people, the kind of stuff they see, and then, the kind of patient decisions they make because, like people can really try to piss you off, but you can't really be pissed off because if you get pissed off, I mean, it's not pleasant, right? You got to stay calm and you got to understand, and it's probably the biggest advice I have, is you got to understand that what this person doesn't know. So this person thinks you're just another vehicle on the road, but you're not just a vehicle. You're a big, heavy truck, and you got your own problems that you have to deal with. And this person has no sense of these problems, right?
I wish people would understand that we're out there not just driving around for fun or like going to the mall or going out or like a lot of people in cars are.
Mm-hmm.
We're doing our job.
Right.
So, if we need an extra second or two in front of you, just wait.
Mm-hmm.
Just let us do our thing. 90% of us will get out of your way. Like, I know every guy I work with, pass someone, the car comes up behind. As soon as we're past, we get out of their way.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're not out there trying to, like, make you guys hate us, but
Mm-hmm.
you gotta understand, like, we're not driving a car. We can't just go.
Yeah.
Can't just stop.
Yeah.
Like, you gotta be careful when you're coming back over in lanes sometimes, especially out in Quebec because you got such big, like, peaks in the road.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as you start coming back over, just grab the tires and just pull the truck over. It's
Yeah, it's something I know. I really wish there was more education for non-professional drivers
Yeah.
about professional drivers that the kind of struggle they have or the kind of stuff they go through. Yes, I really wish sometimes. Yeah. Ty, what do you think? Why do people just don't know about trucks and just don't care for trucks anymore? What do you think that is?
because I think 30 truck drivers at truck stops, people see it and go, oh, these people are dirty, gross, everything like that. Like, and
But
then
they're
they
dirty
just,
for a reason.
and then they just start putting everybody into that stereotype, if you want to call it. And they're like, yeah, truck drivers are like, Grandpa said it best. He goes, back then, like, people appreciated us. They'd say thank you to us, buy us food, like dinner and stuff like that. Now we're hated. Nobody likes us. But everything you have, like, I mean, almost everything was on a truck. I don't think anybody could name one thing to me that has not been on a truck at one point, brought by someone driving a truck.
So what can we do? Question is for you. What can we do to make it better? To make it people understand again, one more time, that look, everything you go get from the store that's been brought by a truck. You should appreciate what truck drivers do. This is one of the most crucial jobs around. It runs the economy. It's everything. Of course, there's some unsafe practices from some truck drivers or some trucking companies, but it's not everybody. A lot of people are out there to do their job in a very positive, fine, safe manner. And like you should respect that.
Yeah, I wish they would, but they don't.
But
Yeah.
whose fault is it? Is it the truck driver's fault, the
Oh
company's
yeah,
fault?
it's the truck driver's fault.
Yeah,
90% of truck drivers are dirty.
right.
Like, you go to a truck stop and you see sometimes you see some questionable stuff. Like, there's a Petra out there. They have written on the wall in like 7 different languages. Don't wash your feet, your hair in the sink, and like they will fine you. There's out west. There's a truck stop that's like, wash your feet. It's like $100 fine. Hair and feet. It's like 200. And then the last one was like pretty much having a shower in the sink. And they're like, no, we'll call the cops. It's stuff like that.
But
That's
that's majority of the people that are newcomers to Canada, right? Right. But they sometimes I do know, like because
yes.
I do associate with the culture too myself. A lot of people they use water excessively, right? So they need water for everything because it depending on where they come from, right? Now, so there needs to be some education, you believe, because there is a cultural difference for sure. There needs to be some education that needs to be done about these people because signage sometimes, like people would smoke where it says no smoking, right? So humans sort of work this way. They don't really care for the sign unless there's an enforcement or something. Or education, I think, works the best.
It does. And like, here's my thing is sometimes you walk in, these guys just smell so bad. And it's like, you probably put fuel in your truck. 90% of places, they give you a free shower if you put over a certain amount of fuel in your truck. Use it. Like, or you'll drive past someone, there's garbage piled up to their seat. It's like, you guys are,
Fix.
yeah, like, oh man, I don't keep my truck the cleanest. I try, like, I try my best, but with being in and out, and I seem to have a thing for getting shavings everywhere, like the shavings we put in the trailer. Think sometimes there's more in the truck than there are in the trailer because they're just everywhere, all over my floor. But once a week, and they're cleaning it. The whole inside gets clean, garbage is thrown out, everything reorganized, vacuumed, clean the mat, clean the pedals, everything. Just keep it
You know,
keep it
when
clean, dude.
trucks get dirty for people, one, you got to be a dirty person to have a dirty truck. One, that's one reason. The other reason is when people are like, drive, 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 drive. Like they don't stop. They don't. The only time they would stop is probably for fuel. And one is bad on your health. Like you're not doing yourself a favor. Like you're not moving at all. Probably in 6 months or so, you're probably gonna have, like some sort of illness building in you, right? And then second, when people just don't care about themselves anymore, like they just want more money, or sometimes it's the company that is pressurizing them to do stuff. But I mean, again, taking this back to the school you got the training from should tell you not to be not to be doing this right on the road. One, secondly, when you go out work for a company should be sort of investing some sort of maybe education, maybe some sort of like teach them how to be clean. Should be taught by your parents, but one, be clean, and secondly, be respectful on the road, right?
Yeah, like when I talk about being clean and that, when I finally got my own truck there, because like you have dedicated trucks there. They were gonna give me one of the older ones, and I was like, "Well, I've been driving that one. Can I just take that one?" I was like, "You gonna keep it clean?" "Yeah, I'm gonna keep it clean no matter what, because I'm representing you, myself, the people whose animals those are. Like, I want to look presentable. I wanna be presentable. You'll never catch me wearing track pants and running shoes. Sorry, that's not jeans and boots, like, summer, winter, whenever. You gotta look respectable, and, again, you walk inside, this guy's wearing flip-flops and that, and I'm like, I get it, you guys are just, like, opening doors and that, which there's nothing wrong with that. If that's what you wanna do it, but still, like, have some, like, pride in yourself and what you do, but a lot of them just see it as a job now too. That's the thing. Like, yeah, it is a good job, you can make money in it. That can't be the only reason why you're doing it, like, at least for me, it's not. Doing it because everybody else before me has, like, it's just kind of a thing it's in the I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. Just ever since I was little, drive a truck, and it's more than just more than just a paycheck. I actually enjoy what I do. I have pride in what I do. Like I said, I try to keep my truck clean, and these guys just don't. They don't care. Or you'll see them with like missing body panels, some pretty borderline sketchy equipment driving down the road, and it's like, gonna get away from that.
So where is the enforcement then?
There's not enough of them. There's so many truck drivers that are like that, and not enough, MTO or DOT to do anything about it. Like they can't. I was going back to the yard after coming back on Wednesday. Right past, there's like a little scale in between Shakespeare and Stratford. They're open, but if you're coming towards Stratford, you got to pull in, like turn left. Well, there's two trucks in there already. There's one MTO, and guys are just pulling in there. I'm like, this poor guy. There's one of them in there, and all these guys. I didn't want to waste his time, so I just kept going. But yeah, there needs to be more of them.
Right. So now, basically, what the whole conversation we had in the past few minutes is about the newcomers that are trying to get in, or that are in trucking or getting into trucking. That you said that they just take this as a job. They don't take pride in it. They don't really care for the job. They just want to finish and go home, kind of thing, right? Now, I know, well, it's Canada, so we always had immigration here. It doesn't matter from which part of the world. And it's not going to stop sometime soon, right? So there's always immigration here. But I mean, if you want to get into trucking, Ty, in your opinion, what kind of training should they go? Well, you can't really teach somebody on culture. Culture you sort of gain over time, right? Like you live at a place for a long time, and then you ultimately develop the values and all that. But I mean, is it the trucking training, or is it just the life training? What's the like? What do you think is
I
the
think
problem here?
it's just a culture. Honestly, it's got nothing to do with the training. Like, they can't train you how to be a clean, good person. Like, it's just you gotta be, and not a lot of people are nowadays. So there's not really. I don't think there's anything you could. Maybe there is. I don't know, but nothing anybody will try to do. Nobody will try to teach people how to do it. And everybody's got different views on everything. It's,
Yeah.
I know. I just complain about it.
Yeah, no, that's actually smart the way you said it. Everybody's got their own views, own experiences, their own values and all that. Okay. So Ty, let's talk about roads. How safe or unsafe our roads are.
Depends on where you are.
Well, tell me the worst city you've driven in.
Worst city I've driven in. Right, Quebec City. Going through there, it's always so bad because you're out in the middle of nowhere. You're coming back, making good time. All of a sudden, boom, city stop. Everything stopped. And it's like the way they have it all split up to go to like up towards Montreal. You can go to Montreal like 4 different ways. Like city. It's bad. People got no clue what they're doing. They'll go to hit an exit. Oh, that's not the one I want. Last second, come over. It's either that or Toronto, or no, I lied. Going to like Burlington and that down through there.
You know why?
That's
QW
rough. It's rough down there.
My opinion is, you know why QW is bad? Queen Elizabeth Way, you know why it's bad? And I actually agree on this. It's the worst. It is because there's a lot of people getting on that highway to get to either US or to Niagara Falls. But these are the people that never been on a freeway before. And they have no sense of the freeway.
I can tell they've never been on the freeway before. I try to avoid going down there at any cost. Luckily, there's not much down there for us. There's just there's a plant down there in Burlington that we go to sometimes, but it's kind of like you don't have to be on the QEW for too long, but it's enough to be like, okay, I don't want to. I'll go back to my country roads and farms, and I don't want to be doing any of this.
The stretch is busy. So why should young people get into trucking? What's the benefit here?
Well, they're going to be looking for people. Like everywhere's going to be looking for young people soon. There's not going to be many people that have already been driving that aren't at companies that they're staying at. Like, and some people don't just want like an ass in the seat. Some people want to employ like a driver that'll like, take care of their stuff, everything like that. Like at least a lot of people I know, the companies that I know of, you need to be looking for young people, and when you're looking for young certain culture of people or whatever you want to say, it's sometimes you get a little bit more money with that, or sometimes like that. It's kind of like with the trades. The government's asking people to get into trades, and nobody wants to do it anymore. It's going to be the same thing with us. I don't know. Again, we talked about this. I don't know how people can't find a job. Everywhere is looking for drivers. Almost everywhere is looking for drivers.
Bro, if I put this on one of the shorts where you say, I got the license, I got the job right away, and there's a lot of jobs out there, you're going to get tons of comments saying, this guy is lying. This guy has no idea what he's talking about. I got my license 3 years ago. I still can't find a job. Well, you didn't find a job because you're probably sitting home applying on the computer.
I was just about to say, quit typing on your phone and go find a job.
Yeah.
You're wasting your time sitting on your phone. Of course you're not going to find a job. Like, no, I don't care. I'll go on there. Talking in the comments. They don't. Okay, they can talk a little.
Yeah.
It doesn't bother me.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying. I'm not to like, you probably don't care for the comments or anything. I'm just saying there's a huge, massive thing out there. Trucking is dying, is done. There's no jobs in there. Companies are bad. Truck driving schools are bad. All these drivers are out there to kill us. It's just a terrible thing. Not realizing if there is no trucking, there is nothing. That's what at least I think this way. Yeah. So something you dislike about your job
Scraping out the trailer,
at the end of your shift?
especially now it's cold. Freezes like that. Like any of your shavings, bedding gets wet. Frozen. When I was out, again, go back last time, about minus 20 something where it was. I unloaded, it's a tight place, kind of got maneuvered out of the way. I put everything into piles, so that way when I get back to the yard, if it's frozen, wash bacon, it's a lot easier for them to get that pile unfrozen than the whole trailer being everything spread out. Put everything into piles, and it was like already freezing as I'm doing it. Like pigs were just out of the trailer, like not even 5 minutes ago. And it's just as quick as you can do it, it's freezing. That's definitely one of the dislikes. Yeah, that's the dislike. For sure. I can't really say I have anything else I dislike about my job. Like I complain about stuff, but everybody complains. It's fun to complain sometimes. So no, definitely a big dislike is scraping out.
What's one thing you wish you could change about trucking as a whole, not just livestock, trucking as a whole? I wish, my name is Ty. I wish I could change this about trucking.
Get rid of these plastic trucks.
Which ones are those? Tell me about
The
it.
Volvos, Freightliners, these new Kenworths, get rid of that stuff.
And why is
The
that?
Max, because they look dumb.
Now, you're saying this as a mechanic or you're saying as a.
Both. Saying it as both. I think bring back the old body style of trucks. Bring back the 389. I don't know why they had to get rid of that truck. What did they change so much from the 389 to the 589? Nothing really. Different cab, shorter hood. Bring that stuff back. Bring the W900 back. Like
Is that your dream
looking
truck?
like I don't know. Everybody's got 389 or 379 or W900, and you can only build them to look different. So many different. Like I don't know. To me, some of them all just look the same. You got to do something really unique with it for it to like different. I also can't say anything. I drive a company truck, so. But I don't know. I feel like a lot of them look the same. Like people try to build them. Like, what do you do? Oh, stacks, visor, bumper, fenders. Like, there's not. That's why when you see that odd one, it's like, oh, okay, he got a little creative with it. I like it.
You plan to be an owner operator at some time?
Mm, maybe. If everything works right, yeah. No, I'm not obviously looking to do that now. Maybe in a couple years if still doing good, making money, yeah, why not?
Have you done any research about it?
Yeah, a little bit. Talked to a few people I know, and they say don't do it. But
Why not do it?
I know a guy. I don't know how he can say don't do it. He just bought a new truck, like a new semi truck. Works for a company and doing the same thing, like hauling livestock and that. And he goes, some of this stuff, like I'm pretty much doing it for free. The fuel costs, wear and tear on your truck, everything like that. He goes, a lot of these loads, it's like a freebie. There's a certain load he does, and I see him out all the time, and he's like, "Yep, this is my freebie for the week."
Really? But a guy like you know, like you probably can do anything on the truck other than the engine, right? But I mean, if you are a handy person, you can do stuff on the truck. I mean, don't you save a lot of money?
Yeah, that's one thing that if I do buy a truck, I'd be doing as much as this stuff I could myself, save money. That's another thing. People send their trucks just for any little thing to the shop. And then they're like, oh, mechanics are bad, trying to rip us off. It's like, well, no, your stuff just was broken, and you could have probably. I seen so many stuff that I fixed that it's like you could have done that yourself and saved you instead of $170. It could have been $70,
Right.
which maybe doesn't seem like a lot, but you keep doing that.
You
That,
add
that,
up.
that adds up.
Yeah.
No, definitely. If I do own a truck, I'll be working on it a lot.
You work on the company truck sometimes?
Mm, if I have to, because it's broken on the side of the road.
You carry any tools on you?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
What do you carry? Just so as a like you've done you fixed trucks before, so you know how to fix trucks. So now you're a driver. So tell people what kind of tools you should carry.
Sockets, metric standard, shallow deep, ratchets. I got a 1/2 inch Milwaukee impact, 3/8 impact. Definitely stuff for electrical. If you know what you're doing, test lights, voltmeters, stuff like that. Wrenches, metric standard, obviously. Adjustable wrenches are a big thing. Hammers, just kind of basic stuff to get you at least off the road, somewhere where someone can actually come out and fix it, like stuff like that. But like I've had a few problems on trailers before, and that like I've had problems with brakes go under, and you can actually do them instead of just having to call. The company's got to pay stupid amounts. Like this happened when I was in Northern Ontario. I was having brake problems with my trailer, and pulled over on the bottom of one of the hills and kind of did like a roadside fix on it, and then it was fine. Probably saved the company a lot of money because I don't know what was close to there. It probably would have been a bit of a drive for someone to come out there to fix something that me and the guy I was with could have done. So it's just stuff like that, just small stuff, or like lost lights on the trailer that trip, and new wiring, everything like that. And we were good to go. It's good to know that stuff as well. A lot of times you'll wait for a mechanic. I
Right.
know when I was doing it, and I was doing service calls sometimes.
You were?
A
So
little
you've done
bit.
mobile work?
Yeah, a little bit.
Right.
It's, sometimes we can't get out because we're doing stuff in the shop. So you're waiting 2-3 hours when if you know how to do it, you could be gone in 20 minutes. So that's why, yeah, I carry a lot of tools with me. Like any just generic basic tools that you need, and like I even the other day I was like, oh, I need to go grab these from the shop I used to work at. So I went there, grabbed a few things. It's like I could use those in my truck. I ran into a problem and I didn't. I wish I would have had them. Didn't have like some small vice grips and that. Went and got them. So you'll slowly just start figuring stuff out that you need, and then you'll eventually have a whole collection of stuff under your bunk rattling around. But
It does save you some point.
you think you don't need it until you're like, oh, I wish I had it. So
Yeah. Ty, have you been inspected in all these months you've been driving? Not once? So you've been through scales.
yeah, oh yeah,
So you haven't been pulled out yet. Bro,
No.
that's something.
no, and I've not been really messed with too much.
Is it the livestock thing that didn't
I-
bring you out?
I don't know. I think it's probably that, and like, I don't know. They say they don't judge people by their truck, but if they see a dirty, gross truck, they're gonna more likely stop that than a
Well, they're
clean-
humans too, They
the
know.
clean,
Yeah.
half decent looking truck. They're probably more likely to be like, all right.
Yeah.
But no, I've never been pulled into a scale and like inspected.
Wow. And that's been 9 months, you said?
It'll happen soon, I'm sure. It'll
Well,
happen.
it will
eventually.
happen, but the point is, if you haven't been pulled out in 9 months, that's can you count how many times you had to go into scale?
Not often, because if they're open, I usually just sometimes just keep.
How
going
often
in.
are they open?
Well, when you go out there to Quebec, there's that one. It's like a city in the middle of the woods. What it's in between. It's past Kingston and that. I'm pretty sure.
Oh yeah, that one there. It's
one's
it's
always-
Thousand Islands, close to
Yeah,
Thousand Islands.
that
right?
one's
Yeah.
always open when I go out there, and I see trucks in there. I'm like, they don't need me. They're busy, so I just keep going. They don't really mess with you too much. Like I pulled in there once or twice when I hasn't been busy, but like another thing is in the summer, slowing down and stopping's not something I really want to do because it's so hot. I want to keep the air going through the trailer, airflow. Like that's a big thing too, is keeping everything cool in the trailer. Like it's not like we just hop in the truck and start driving. We gotta wait. It's constantly worrying about the animals, and now are they too cold? You're pulling panels out, putting panels in the middle of the winter, freezing.
So you actually have to put those panels in
Yep.
when it gets cold? So how many are there? Hundreds?
I don't know.
How big are the panels? I've seen them, the black
Like,
panels, right?
Yeah, and it depends on where they go. Some of them are pretty long because they split the trailer up.
Right.
So the bottom ones are like pretty short, and the ones up top are longer. Like in the winter,
And where do you carry them? In the trailer?
yeah, they can go. There's like boxes on the front of our trailers that they go in, or on the like on the front, like where it comes down. We'll have boxes down there. And you just there's places for them in the
And
trailer.
you carry a ladder too?
Pardon?
Ladder, like to get to the top?
No, you can do it from the side.
You can?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a whole big door that swings open, and then you just put your stuff in. Like you can put your shovel in there, your broom, like any eggs or like shavings or anything, you can stick in those if you don't have too many panels in there. But no, there's places to hold them on the trailers,
Actually, I always thought about those panels. I was like, that must be a hard job to put them in
especially when it's cold.
when it's cold. It's
And they
almost
get-
like
they
tarping,
get- they
tarping
get
the trailer.
fro-
right?
yeah, and they get frozen. You're standing there hitting them, and
Oh, wow.
your fingers are frozen. It sucks. It's not fun.
Yeah.
But
Ty, what's the future of trucking in your opinion?
what's the future of it?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Is it ever going to get shiny and bright like old good days?
No,
It's not?
as much as I want it to. I'm sure a lot of people do. It won't. No, it'll be like this. It'll probably just keep getting worse.
Are we ever going to get into driverless trucks?
But I hope not. I think the accidents are bad now. I don't know. Yeah, I hope not. I don't know. I would like. No, not with what I'm doing. I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried about a driverless truck taking over my job. I'm a driver, they can't load the trailer. So I'm not too worried about it, but I hope not. It probably wouldn't be. I don't think it'd be too good of a thing to have driverless trucks.
Ty, I want you to talk to the people who think trucks are out there to cause problems on the road.
Sometimes I am there to cause a problem. I don't know. Like sometimes I just like screwing around with people. No, I don't know. We're not there to cause problems. We're there working. Like I said to you earlier, let us do what we need to do, and we'll get out of your way. There's 90% of people, we will move, we will get out of your way. Just let us do what we need to do. You're going to the mall or wherever you're going can wait a minute or two. We're, working. I think that's my biggest thing is just understand we're actually working and give us a break every once in a while would be pretty cool. You'd let some guys a break.
And what can we do to bring back the respect that we had?
I think it's just all too far gone now at this point. I don't think you can bring it back.
No, you can't be that pessimistic.
I don't know. Nobody like yeah, if you know, I guess guys will let you in, like other trucks. They're usually pretty good about letting you move over, stuff like that. But then you'll be somewhere where you're pulling hills and that flat ground, you're way faster than the guy. You hit a hill, he's half your weight, he passes you. You get back to flat ground, you pass him again. It's like, dude, next hill, just stay behind me and then let me go. I'll be gone. They just keep passing you, and it's like, catch him again. Hill, they pass you. Like the one day I was pretty upset. I kept doing that with the one guy. I was like, I'm about to lose over here. Like, I'm tired of seeing this guy in this truck.
You know what my opinion is? My opinion is if we don't talk about what we do, if we don't bring the stories out, if we don't educate people about trucks, it's not going to come back. So this show is an effort to bring it out to the people that look, see what we do? This is why we do it.
Yeah.
And then, like we were respected in the past, and we should get this respect back. That's what my opinion is, and the whole purpose of this show as well. That, listen to us. I mean, there's too much negative propaganda about trucks out there, that I see, and it does hurt me because, like I know people, let's say I know somebody who was hauling asphalt, and, the poor guy is going, and he's smelling this. Asphalt does smell bad. Somebody called cops on him thinking that, or called 911 and said, "Oh, this trailer smells bad. It's probably leaking some gas. You probably want to check it." And cop pulls him over, and then he's like, "Oh, you're leaking gas." He's like, "No, it's asphalt. Like I'm hauling
Yeah.
asphalt. It's supposed to smell like that."
Asphalt does smell pretty bad.
It does. Oh, no, but think of the guy who's driving it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like if this person is not taking that asphalt to whatever that place is, you're not gonna have any road.
No.
Like I mean, like why are you thinking this way? I mean, it's
People-
not a safety concern. I mean, and it does say like, first of all, I mean, if you're that concerned, you should read the placard, and then do some research about it, and then that would tell you what the product is. If you're that concerned, rather than just straight off call the police, be like, this guy is leaking some gas, check him out. Yeah, sure, you're trying to be a good citizen there, but like you probably want to do some research before you do stuff like that. It's just there's a lot of hate out there. Like brake checking is probably the worst thing. Like it's dangerous, and the person doesn't even know they're risking their life doing this, right?
No.
Because the driver is trying to stop, but one time he's not going to be able to stop.
And we'll be fine in the truck. You'll be the
Yeah.
one that's
Oh yeah.
not doing too good if you brake check someone hard enough, or if you're in
Yeah.
traffic and you brake check
Yeah.
someone and they hit you into another car. It's
Right.
not a good time. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know why people even decided that was ever a good thing to do. Brake checking, even cars, like even people that brake check other cars. It's like, what are you doing? Like, do you want to get hit? I don't get it. But especially with the big trucks, it's yeah. So the only thing I've noticed, guys follow too closely.
Well, because we think that's going to make us go faster. Like I mean, like if you're falling too close to me, like you think it's going to make you go faster? No, like you're not going anywhere.
I
Nobody's going anywhere.
no.
Yeah.
I noticed too. Like you get close to another truck, and truck, you start feeling the wind off their truck and everything. It's like you see them behind another truck, and they're like this. It's because the wind off the front truck's just blowing them around. It's like either slow down if you can't pass them, or move over and pass them. Like I don't know. People follow way too closely. Like I even sometimes would catch myself falling a little close, and I'm like, if this person slammed on the brakes right now, I probably wouldn't stop.
Right.
You slow back down a bit. I don't know. I just noticed like a lot, especially truck drivers doing it to other truck drivers.
That's another problem. Like now these truck drivers, the one you're talking about, the one that don't have respect, and they think they're going faster someplace. Like I just don't get the idea of like, buddy, you're not going anywhere.
No.
You're a truck driver. Your job is to drive. Your job is to be on this highway or the freeway. Your job is to do this is what pays your bills. Just be here patiently and respectfully, But
Well, like the thing is with trucks falling too close to other trucks, when you're behind a truck, you can't see what's in front of you.
absolutely, yeah.
You have no clue what's in front of you. That's another reason why I don't like following other truck. I like being able to see what's in front of me. Plenty of time to slow down and I have to make a move to a different lane, I had plenty of time to do that. You guys will be doing that, and I guess I've seen it in Toronto, following too closely, and then all of a sudden you'll hit the first traffic jam, and they almost drive like he almost drives right into the back of the other truck,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like, okay, I think maybe he learned. Once we get rolling again, nope, right
No,
on.
they don't learn. No,
I'm like,
it's the mindset. It's the mindset, Ty.
what's like the guy on the 401 that
Yeah.
drove into the back of that flatbed? Like,
In London,
No, yeah, I guess it was kind of outside of London,
Yeah.
near like the Drumbo area.
like last month or so, right?
Yeah.
In probably September, October of 2025.
I'm willing to bet that guy was following too close. He wasn't following so close,
You would have time to stop, right?
or at least make a lane change or something.
I think angry people shouldn't be on the road.
No.
It's the anger that takes stuff too personal. Then you want to react to it. I mean, like you do stuff like this, thinking I'm sort of making them feel something. I mean, like your license should be stripped off. Like you got some anger problems, stay home.
Like I'll admit, like especially at first when I first started driving, I was kind of like that. Like I got no problem saying that I was angry sometimes, and even sometimes now stuff will get me a little mad. But in 2 minutes, I'm like, why? What's the point? Why am I getting upset about it? Like the only person it's bothering is me. Like they don't care.
Now you're becoming professional.
Like I don't.
That's professionalism.
just-
That
I
is
don't let it
professionalism.
bother
Where
it.
you'd be like, I can only control what I do.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
cannot control what other people do. There's no
there's
point of getting angry and doing something you're not supposed to.
Well, there's times where you just want to grab someone and strangle them, but it's just all right. What's the point? What's the point of it? Like there's
Yeah.
no reason to. And
Yeah.
like I said again, you're representing, for me at least, representing my company, myself. It's one of the big things. The people whose animals they are, everything. You know, our trucks are like anybody who's seen a livestock truck, they're like walking billboards or driving billboards. Like they're, you know whose truck it is
Right.
pretty easily.
hmm
And it's trucking is like it's a big like community, not a community, but kind of that, but it's also like very tight, like especially with the livestock and ag stuff and like that. Everybody knows everybody. It's not a big world. It's pretty small when it comes to stuff like that. People know who other people are and what people are doing and stuff like that. So just you always try to be 100% the best you can. Represent yourself, company, everybody.
Hey,
Right.
before I go, I want to ask you, why are, and I've asked this before, why are livestock hauling companies not diverse?
Pardon?
There's no diversity in livestock hauling. Why is that?
I was
Don't give
wa-
me the answer. The
I
answer
was
got-
warned you were gonna ask me this.
No,
I
but
was worried
the
about
last
it.
time I got the answer, I asked one of the guests here, and he said because the farmers are racist.
I mean, like a lot of the pig farms you go to, it'll be like Mexican or Vietnamese people, but the companies, I don't know, like it's just I don't think they want to do it. Like if I'm I'll be sitting at a truck stop and New Canadian, whatever you want to call them, he'll come up to me and like yeah, I start asking you questions about it, and you start telling him about it. He's like, oh no, that's pretty gross.
So people do investigate the money you make. A lot of
Oh,
people
oh
have-
yeah, people ask
Really?
ask questions all the time.
Okay. Tell me what kind of questions. So let's say you're at a truck stop in Quebec, and somebody, let's say a person from Indian origin, walks up to you and says, "Hey, buddy,
Yeah, like they'll start asking. It's like I've had a guy ask me about like one of the trailers because we have like some specialized like
license."
humane. No, they're like supposed to be like humane safe trailers. It's like they have fans on them and water systems and stuff like that for the animals in the summer. The guy was like, "Oh, what's for the fans?" I was like, "Well, to blow air in the trailer." Like he's just asking me all these questions, and he's like, "Well, how much do you make?" And I was like, "Well, I'm not going to tell you that, but
It's always that question is the root question of everything.
I don't." Yeah, like
Everybody's concerned of what other
how
people
much do you make? Well, probably more than you.
Yeah.
That's kind of my thing. It's I probably make more than you.
Yeah, but I do more work too. I
Well,
don't
that's
just
just
don't open and close the door.
And
That's the difference.
I don't think they want to spend like sometimes you'll be 45 minutes, half an hour loading a trailer. You're dealing with animals. They don't behave all the time. Sometimes they'll give you a hard time, but I think like I just think it's because they don't want to do it.
And
Right.
it has nothing to do with the company owners that don't want
Well,
anybody.
like I know companies probably won't hire those type of people, but
Yeah.
like yeah, I just think it's the fact of they don't want to do it. They want to do something easy. I get it. Hey, you want to do something easy? Go. Well, I'll drive van, reefer, do that. We'll keep doing this over here. Like I'm sure there's a few that have done it, stuff like that. But yeah, I just think it's their laziness, not wanting to do it, and some companies just won't hire them either.
Right. I want to thank you for being on the show, and we will see you guys next Sunday. Take good care and be safe.